Pokemon Insurgence is said to be one of the greatest fan games with a story like none other. It all takes place in the Toren region, which is home to many dangerous cults worshipping legendary Pokemon for their own ideals, as well as Pokemon with brand new Mega Evolutions and Delta species which are basically regional variants. Upon starting the game, our player is in a coma and is having the last of their memory drained by a Gengar sent by members of the cult of Darkrai. When all hope seemed lost, an anonymous person sent Mew to help us in our time of need. Using its special ability, we could transform into a cult member and explore the base. By sacrificing one of her members, the leader summons Darkrai to join her side, only for her to be rejected by it. And this was the perfect chance for us to escape to the nearest town. This is where we meet a kid named Damien who becomes one of our rivals, and together we go to the Pokemon lab to receive our first Pokemon being Eevee. But a shady person called Ryukura, who also happens to be the leader of the Perfection Cult, offers up 3 new Pokemon: the Delta species of Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. When you start the game, it allows you to add rules like a randomizer or solo run, so I decided to do an Egglocke, which is basically a Nuzlocke, and swapping out every Pokemon I catch for an egg in the PC that hatches into something random. So my starter hatched into Delta Magby, looking like a scuba diver, and hence is a water type. I also got a Girafarig and a Chikorita, which was holding a Megastone for Meganium, so I can't wait to see what that turns into. The second augur, who is the protector of the region, was coming to visit town, so the two of us went to find a gift for his arrival, but the only thing we found was the Abyssal and Infernal cult scheming to assassinate him. So we go back to warn the augur, but he was more than capable of casting his dorky little spell to make them vanish. Did you just kill them? We then begin our journey, traveling around the region to obtain 8 gym badges, and on our way to the next town, we hatch a Diglett, Fennekin, Delta Beldum, and a Squirtle, which I had to trade in for a shiny Blitzel that I had found. In the next town over, there's a tournament that was meant to take place, but one of the participants named Nora went missing. So we go to look for them, and that's when we find out that they are chosen by Celebi. She then tells us that people like us that are chosen by a mythical Pokemon go on to defeat the cults and save the Toren region. I was battling a wild Shuckle and it ended up trapping me with a wrap, so I couldn't switch out, and ironically, Unbodied just got bodied 6 feet into the ground. A cool thing is that even if you try to heal your dead Pokemon, it will still remain unusable, so Diglett became the leader of the dead squad. It was now time for the tournament where we face off against our rivals, but first... No! Now isn't that just great? We are then told to head towards Suntouch City, which has a gym. But first, I grab a few more Pokemon like Delta Misdreavus and Delta Aron, and you should know that I only highlight the important ones since I end up getting a lot of garbage. The first gym leader, Orion, is a bit weird to say the least. His only friend is this white rock which he believes is alive. So we face him in battle to get a taste of what makes him so... special? The gym leaders of Toren don't have teams based on a type, but rather a theme. Orion's is based on the power of the sun. He leads with a wall picks that sets up a drought, which should have made things worse for my team, as he had a couple of grass types that could make use of it for Solar Beam. But I had counters for his whole team except Charmeleon, which had Thunder Punch, so a bubble and a few Psybeams took care of it as we obtain our first gym badge. But soon after, things take a turn for the worse as Harmony, the 4th gym leader, warns Orion that cultists are about to break through the gym. But he refuses to leave as his rock was too heavy to take with him, and that's when Tain, an important member of the Perfection Cult, swooped in on his cure. Listen, Tain, was it? You're not acting very friendly here. Tell us what you want and leave. Tell you what we want? Well, you know what? We want the kid's rock. No, not the rock! You can't take his only friend! Well, Tain backhanded Orion's face, and that's when the rock began to awaken. Some of you may be confused, but that rock was actually the Lightstone, which is the dormant form of the legendary Reshiram. They managed to escape the grasp of the Perfection Cult, but now it is apparent that Tain works for Ryukura, who was the one who handed out the Delta starters. So the question still remains, what exactly are they planning? The next major stop was Vipik City, home of the second gym leader, whose team is based on the power of the forest. But before battling him, I hatched a Delta Riolu and evolved both Magby into Magmar and Aron into Laron. The gym battle was a whitewash, with my Sigilyph and Hawlucha sweeping through all his Pokemon, including...
What? Mega Bong? Why do you have a bong? What?
When we exit the gym, we receive a letter telling us that Damien has been kidnapped by the Abyssal cult at the local dump, and that we had to hand over Mew if we wanted to save him. But then out of nowhere, Shaman, a mythical Pokemon, comes in and purifies the toxic water, saving his stupid ass, and then decides to travel with him, making him one of the chosen few from the prophecy. On the way to Helios City, we witnessed a family get buried alive by members of the Sky Cult so as to get their hands on a scroll that summons Rayquaza. When we got there, the tower was guarded by the same members, so we had to go through the sewers of the city and ended up in the black market. The most illegal of practices take place here, from betting on Pokemon killing each other to the sale of the ungodly Moo milk. Anything can happen in the black market. There's a guy in here who lets you create your own custom attack, so I created the coolest move of them all. And after hitting that sick whip, Riolu evolved into Lucario, Magmar into Magmortar, adding the Steel type. Mismagius is basically Santa Claus, while Aggron remained a flaming hot piece of metal. The whole point of coming to Helios City was to talk to the second augur regarding the cults, but to get there, we had to pass through the Perfection Cult base. Ryukura, the leader, allows us to pass through only if we battle Tain. They wanted to collect data to create a Pokemon that would be undefeatable, with no weaknesses, that would be perfect. There lies the true goal of the Perfection Cult. This battle is considered one of the harder ones in the early game. The best counter I had against this Machamp was Hawlucha, as I could reduce its attack with Feather Dance and heal up using Roost. Defeating it took a lot longer because of confusion hacks from Dynamic Punch, and that's when he threw out a Stunfisk.
Stunfisk? Really? Oh god, that's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen! Okay, take it back!
Now that I had Elite Seed up, the only way I was beating it was by making some smart switches. Using Protect, switching into Aggron on the Sludge Bomb, but when I expected it to use Earth Power, it instead used Surf, which killed my Hawlucha. Luckily, Meganium outsped, so I could Synthesis and eventually kill it with a Magical Leaf. If you thought we were out of the woods, well, let me tell you that there was still a whole ass Kyurem left for me to face. Vanguard the Magmortar learned a move called Metal Burst. It does 1.5 times the damage taken from an attack, essentially like Counter and Mirror Coat. So with that, I was able to bring it down low enough that Mismagius could kill it with a few more disarming voices. Ryukura then gives us Mega Rings to grab additional data and allows us to pass through. It was now time for us to meet with the second augur. We try to warn him that Sky Cultists are after him and are in the building, but he just gives us a smirk and calls upon a horde of them himself. It turns out that the second augur, protector of the land, is the leader of the Sky Cult and plans to summon Rayquaza in order to become a god and rid the problems Toren is plagued with. In order to start the ritual, he needs to make a sacrifice, so he sets up a deathmatch between us and the gym leader of the city. There were a lot of subplots that took place within that conversation. The second augur made it seem as though that he had a grudge against us for causing him problems in the past. That means we may have been an important person prior to losing our memories. The battle was going smoothly. With my Meganium now being able to Mega Evolve, it became the perfect counter to Kingdra as it had gained the Fairy typing. Unfortunately, Noivern hit a Hurricane and landed a Confusion,
And knowing my luck, Miss Magius killed itself! What? Who would have ever seen that coming?
His Mega Altaria was close to sweeping us, but I was able to use Anorith as death fodder to bring in Lucario to kill it with an extreme speed. After the battle, the gym leader was killed and converted into sacrificial juice. Yeah. Upon confronting the second augur, he explains to us that this giant crystal behind him is a source of unlimited energy and was the reason why the first augur was so powerful. He uses it to summon Rayquaza and then gets into a battle with us. Thanks to the crystal, he could also Mega Evolve it, which would have been a huge problem for my team. But luckily, my Magmortar is a legendary killer, as I could just make it hold a Focus Sash and Metal Burst any damage I take back at them. Damien finally becomes useful by breaking the crystal, scattering the pieces across the land. The augur escapes in pursuit of them, and now it is our job to retrieve the pieces of the crystal before they end up in the wrong hands. We were then asked to join up with Nora and Damien at a library in Utira town to discover more about the prophecy regarding us chosen ones. By this point, I had hatched a bunch more Delta species like Baniri, Tentacool, Diglett, Dunsparce, Trico, and the most important one being Goomy. The books in this area didn't quite cut it, so we gained access to an abandoned wing, thanks to the receptionist who definitely didn't have anything to gain. In the back, there is a glowing orb that is said to be related to the prophecy, and when we approach it, it awakens and takes form as an oracle. The only way to learn the truth was if we took it by force, and so a battle began. They make use of a Mega Banette, and with my Lucario being a dark type, it should have been an easy kill. I knew I would be faster, but it caught me off guard with a priority Destiny Bond because of its prankster ability, and sadly that meant that my Lucario died along with it. The Oracle mentions that not even the cults have heard the true version of the prophecy. The first thing predicted was the emergence of a hero chosen by a legendary Pokemon. Secondly, this hero will succeed. Undefeated in Toren, they'll move on victorious. The last secret piece of information is that in the end, the hero will join the Infernal cult and betray their friends. Naturally, we were worried about one of us going on to be a traitor, and in the heat of the moment, Nora may have said a few things to tip Damien off. Nora, listen, don't panic about this, okay? We need to work together. If we're going to let this turn on each other, we might as well give up. Oh, criticizing me already, Damien? You know, if I was an infernal cultist, I wouldn't want to draw attention to myself. But of course, you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Not Mr. I ran my mouth in front of cultists and got kidnapped in a garbage dump. You know what? I think your stepmom was right about you.
Holy shit! Nora! Really? That was a bit too far, even for me.
And Damien, like a wimp, runs off to Sonata City and tells us to meet him there. We had to make a quick pit stop at Miara Town, and when we got there, we overheard a lady talking about how she's going to flood the entire region. Just another casual day in the Toren region. At the local museum, we find a stand holding the blue orb to awaken Kyogre, with the highest of security. I'm sure you know of the Abyssal cult. You mean the terrorists? Are you trying to intimidate me? Well, yes actually, I'm kind of a murderer. You don't even look like one of their members. That's because I'm not. I'm their leader. My guy just sidestepped. Well, it just so happens that the blue orb here was a cheap plastic model donated by her, and that the museum ended up hiding the tile bell right next to it. So we go to confront her at the Whirl Islands, where she basically summons Lugia and then takes off. On the road, I managed to hatch a Delta Yamask and Delta Bulbasaur, which was also holding a Megastone for Venusaur. On the way to the next gym, we overheard a conversation between Jayern the second augur and Persephone. To sum it up, the augur gives her the ultimatum of killing me or dying herself for failing to take me out at the start of the game. He also drops a hint by saying that he is worried if someone were to recognize me, meaning I'm somebody important, but not so much cause people haven't recognized me yet. So the thing that makes the most sense to me is that I'm a friend or relative of somebody important. We finally reached Sonata City, home to Harmony, the gym leader who helped us out back in the first gym. She specializes in normal and fairy types, and her first Pokemon was a Crustle, which not only used Shell Smash and raised its attack with its simple ability, getting double the effect, but also had a White Herb to get rid of the debuffs. My Weezing was the perfect counter though, as it could clear Smog and get rid of all the stat changes. One of her Pokemon was Miltank, and to my surprise,
Oh yes! These are the Mega Evolutions we want to see, people! Isn't that right?
with it raising its attack and being able to use Milk Drink to heal, I had to slow play this battle like I had never before. Protecting every chance I got, making switches, predicting a body slam, and then going into Weezing to avoid the earthquake. And that left her final Pokemon, Gardevoir. Unfortunately, it used Focus Blast and got a critical hit, thereby killing my aggro. Shortly after the battle, Nora comes in to tell us that the local hospital has lost its power and that the patients inside are suffering without it. So we head on over to find out what's going on. And what do you know, it's the Perfection Cult once again. Well, you see, Ryukura wants to run some experiments on Harmony's father, known as Mold, who is admitted at that hospital. The reason they chose him was because he was present at the time the Delta incident took place in Hoenn, specifically Moss Deep City, where Deoxys was defeated. This vaccine that he wants to use would not only help him gain data to create the perfect Pokemon, but also give more time to her father, who is about to pass away. Concerned about him, she accepts the deal. Listen, I don't like needles. If you guys don't mind, I think I'm gonna go wait outside. Seriously? He's in a room with a cultist and he's scared of needles? And done. I don't think it... Oh, you're awake. Are you okay?
Oh my Arceus, what the— Shh! You need to talk quietly. Be careful not to provoke him. Ryukura, what on earth did you do? This wasn't supposed to happen. I'm not sure, but he looks a bit like Deoxys. I wonder if there's a connection. But anyways, we need to stay quiet as long as we aren't loud.
Hey guys, so how did it go? Did the needle go in okay?
Damien, you idiot! You've managed to do it again!
Do you not care at all that somebody just got kidnapped? What about my father? What do you do to him? Your father is fine. More than fine, in fact. He's the healthiest he's ever been. As for the boy, I'm sure he's fine. He may be infected, but the Pokémon helps, not hinders. So to sum it up, both Mauled and Damien have been turned into hybrids of Deoxys. Ryukura mentioned that he had an appointment with the gym leader in the next town over, so Harmony asked us to go and warn them about his arrival. When we get to Kepler City and find the gym leader, our plans of warning her had to come to a stop, as Audrey rides in on her Lugia and decides to put her plans of flooding the region into action. Naturally, we had to stop her, so we disguised ourselves as Abyssal members and sneaked through the base to defeat her. I assume a lot of people would struggle in this battle as she uses Primal Kyogre, but as you already know... And that's that. Her Alakazam was also the reason the base was protected by shields, but now that it had fainted, it allowed Mold to enter the base. Forget this ocean army. Join me. All I ask in return is that crystal. It wasn't me that wanted you to join. What are you on about? I want to help heal the world. You want to rule it. Our goals differ. You would not be of help to me. Having Pokerus is the most illuminating experience. Things are revealed. You remember things that were suppressed. What are you getting at? For example, the memory of a mother who abandoned her child, of being raised by someone else because his mother chose a Pokemon over him. Even after remembering all that, Damien still wanted you healed. Damien? You mean? That's right, your son. What in the name of plot twists? You can't just throw that at people. Oh my, Damien, you're all grown up now. You're like him. You're one of them? What happened to you? I left you. This is all my fault. This is what he wants. Just give him the crystal. The crystal is a power source for Pokemon, and we're just as much Pokemon as human now. Take it, Damien. But no, that's the only... Kyogre, no! Get back! Don't move! Please.
Damon's mom? Audrey's dead? What in the name of Jesus?
Considering that Audrey was ripped apart by Kyogre, we had successfully defeated the Abyssal cult, although we still weren't able to retrieve the piece of the crystal as it was now in the hands of Mauld and Damien. This is when a mysterious cutscene takes place, revealing a new group of people, the Giratina group, mentioning that everything is going according to plan and that the crystal will soon be theirs. I hatched a few more Delta species like Numel, Larvesta, and Wailmer, and then went back to challenge the 5th gym leader whose strength lies in machinery. The battle was relatively easy thanks to my Delta Gudra being an absolute tank with its water ground typing and my Magmortar dealing with her Mega Metagross. After beating the leader, we noticed Tain entering the leader's workshop.
Alright, Tain, your commission is done. The armor has been made to your exact specifications. It'll increase the defensive stats of a Pokemon that wears it. I did a bit of research. The only Pokemon that fits your measurements is, well, Zekrom. Incredible. I've heard stories about Zekrom, but I've never thought I'd see it myself. How's it that you've caught 2 legendary Pokemon? People don't even see one of them in their lifetimes.
Master Balls. Lots and lots of Master Balls. Have you seen how the other cults operate? They just ask them to join. It's no wonder they keep failing. Common sense, come on, a strong Pokeball is so much more effective than messing around. How about it, a double or nothing battle between the 2 of us, a duel between dragons, winner takes all. Unless of course you don't care about what happens to Zekrom.
I do care, but you have a suit of armor. That isn't fair at all. Reshiram, come out.
Zekrom, this is getting boring, finish it.
Reshiram, no! Are you alright?
Did the victor go the spoils? Why do you feel like you need to annoy me so much?
What? My guy just predicted me.
No, that's the least of the outcomes that I wanted. Oh no, this is bad.
This is horrible. What am I gonna do?
Okay, thanks. I love the crit. What do I do? Like, something or the other is gonna have to die here. Okay, maybe hits me with another earthquake? Nope, Flare Blitz. Anna, I salute you. Well done, buddy. See you in the afterlife. At least I got some damage with the recoil, so... Panda, please take a hit. Please? No? Okay. Okay, I just lost 2 for the price of 1. Not even 1? He's still alive? Okay, at least Aquajet killed here. Oh my god. What is that? That looks so cool. No! Oh, I forgot I had a Focus Sash. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Okay, taken care of in 1 hit. Oh yeah, he still has a Curum left. Finally, it's been like 10 days. Tain then leaves the city, having taken Orion's Reshiram, and tells us to meet him at the Dragon Ruins, where he plans to awaken the perfect dragon. With our fallen members, including my beloved Meganium, we had to now find suitable replacements. So I trained up my Delta Metagross, which is a rock grass type, and Delta Volcarona, which is a dark poison type. The gym leader's workshop is a place where she sells armor for certain Pokemon, and luckily, my Volcarona was holding the armor for it when it hatched, so it got itself a new suit that boosted its defenses. On the way to the Dragon Ruins, we had to stop by a few towns. One of them was Hecate Town, which was under threat by the Infernal cult, so we headed inside a cave where they planned to awaken Groudon. This is where we learned that the leader of the Infernal cult happens to be the very same librarian who helped us learn the prophecy of the hero. It just so happens that the Infernal cult was the very first cult to exist, and in conclusion, they had already caught Groudon long ago. Before entering Selene City, we see Persephone, the leader of the cult of Darkrai, plotting her revenge against her sister, since Darkrai has a tendency to follow her instead of Persephone. We stop her right in time, and we learn that the sister, Diana, also happens to be the gym leader of the city. So after that, we quickly challenged her and obtained our 6th gym badge. Something to note is that she had a Cresselia on her team, so I hope you guys are able to start connecting the dots now. We then traveled to the Dragon Ruins along with Nora to face Tain. It was difficult. I needed 3 different legendary Pokemon, but I succeeded. Reshiram, Zekrom, Cura. It's time to return to your origins, join together, and become whole once more. Ignis et Fulgura Feud Unum. Emerge. The great name here. What did you say? Are you reading that off a scroll? Yeah, why? I'm pretty sure you're reading that wrong. I think you're supposed to say the dragon's name at the part, not just name here. It's probably a placeholder. Tain, why are you becoming as dumb as Damien, man? But hold on, that's impossible. Nobody knows the name of the original dragon. Fine, I was hoping to resurrect the original dragon today, but it seems like that's not happening. I'll find that name. I'll search every scroll, text, or book until I learn it. I'll deal with the 2 of you, here and now. Tain was defeated. Zekrom escaped his clutches, while Reshiram returned to Orion, and there was nothing left for him to do but run away. As we try to head on over to the next town, we see a vision of the augur talking to a powerful body in the shadows. Apparently, everything that has taken place in the region ever since Jaren killed the first augur, from Persephone failing to befriend Darkrai, the prophecy told by the Oracle in front of the leader of the Infernal cult, Mauld and Damien being turned into hybrids, to Audrey being torn apart by Kyogre. It was all their doing, and the whole reason behind it is so that they can get their hands on the crystal. You might be wondering where this all-powerful crystal came from. Well, quote unquote, it was in possession by a secret group of champions who were chosen by Arceus to guard the crystal. The first augur was given the crystal to take down the cults, but failed to do so. And if you don't think that the plot of this game is crazy already, well, wait until I tell you that in the next city over, the Infernal cult has the people of the city under mind control. I mean, sure, they've vaccinated the people with some drug and played a broadcast over the city under typical brainwashing fashion. But seriously? Mind control? Now, the only way to get to the Infernal cult base was to get the help of Mauld and Damien. But you see, the only way to contact them was by helping out Tain and Rukra. You see, when they gave us our Mega Rings, they also had trackers on them, so they were able to track Damien's location. So in exchange for Mew's DNA, which definitely won't go on to bite us in the butt later on, we eventually get to the Infernal base hideout. And if I don't recover from this crazy twisted plot, so help me God. Also, I forgot to mention that I beat the 7th gym leader in the city that got brainwashed. But that same man happened to be chosen by Manaphy. So along with him, we corner the leader of the Infernal cult, and just before the man with the rain team tries to battle the dude with the fire team, a panel opens up and sends him down into the basement. So we took it upon ourselves to beat Zenith and took down the Infernal cult. The only thing that was left to do was undo the effects of the brainwash by transforming into him and snapping our fingers. But that's not all. Apparently, the Oracle that made him think that we would join the Infernal cult was lying. It was all a ruse set up by the Giratina group. You can't make this stuff up. I hatched myself a cool little Delta Froakie, which I lost immediately, as well as a Delta Poniard, which was able to evolve into a Knight and then Mega Evolve into a Centaur. I've lost quite a few Pokemon to my Nuzlocke that I haven't really shown on screen, but at this point the video is getting too long and I at least have to get through the story of this game. Shrinking this video from 50 plus hours worth of content into something you can digest is hard enough. So if you enjoyed the video up to this point, make sure to subscribe, as it really helps out. Anyways, back in the Infernal cult base, Persephone managed to steal Cresselia from her sister, and then she summoned Darkrai and blackmails it to follow her commands, otherwise she would hurt Cresselia, which is Darkrai's counterpart, the yin to his yang. Darkrai then gets frustrated and throws us all into not just any nightmare realm, but one specifically made for me. The weirdest part is that there's an actual civilization living here, and it's not just fake people in my head. We're told that the 8th gym leader actually lives in this place, so on our way to meet them, we get confronted by Mauld and Damien, who try to put an end to us one final time. I'm not quite sure where it came from, but Damien had a Deoxys on his team. Even with that, we were still able to defeat him, and for a brief few seconds, Damien breaks free of the disease and hands us the second piece of the crystal. Even though Damien has been stupid at times, I still have a soft spot for him. We finally found the gym, and wait till you hear this, the gym leader, also known as Adam, is the first augur of the region who was supposedly killed by the second augur, but in reality, he was trapped in our dream realm by the hands of Jaren and Persephone. This is why at the beginning of the game, they don't just kill off our character, but rather they try to erase our memories by using Gengar's Dream Eater to permanently delete the first augur trapped in my head. Sure, killing me could have just ended my dream realm, right? But who knows, this game probably had some wild loophole where it would still exist or something. I don't know anymore, dude. Don't ask me questions. Don't leave those in the comments. I'm warning you. Timmy, get out of there. This means that he was the one who sent Mew to our rescue. Oh, and also, get this. He's our dad. Don't you just love the resemblance? We beat him in a battle, obtaining the final gym badge, and then leave him behind to die in our dream world. I'm not even joking. That's actually what happens. Using the power of Hoopa, which we obtained through my dad since he was chosen by Hoopa and all, we escape and find out that Jaren was defeated by a member of the Giratina group and hence lost his piece of the crystal to them. Right now, our leader is in the Distortion realm. She's trying to meet you halfway. That's where your friend is right now. I've taken the liberties of setting up a pathway there for you. After traveling through multiple dimensions, we were just a door away from finding out who the true mastermind was.
My name is Nyx. I'm the leader of... well, we have no name. We're certainly not a cult.
Well, you see, she's actually the leader of the inhabitants of the Distortion realm. In their version of the story, Giratina was the ruler of the world we lived in, while Arceus was the ruler of the world of antimatter, or rather, the Distortion realm. Arceus refused to be the bottom dog. It overthrew Giratina's rule of the world and swapped the two dimensions. Giratina, along with its people, were sent to the world of antimatter, and hence, Nyx and her people are trying to win back the world that they believe is theirs. The power of the crystal would allow them to flip the switch.
But you have the last 2 shards of my crystal. I can't take them from you by force, so I think you know where this is headed. In the Distortion world, typings work a little differently. This battle will be the inverse of everything you thought to know. Let's begin, Silver. The fates of our worlds rest with us.
Forgotten One Nyx? They said that they looked like us before, but the antimatter turned them into whatever that was. Okay, in inverse, right? So Sludge Wave, which is not very effective, should be super effective here. Yeah, okay, I think I'm getting the hang of it. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. This thing has no weaknesses besides ghost type moves. My god, that does so much. Okay, took it down finally. Okay, no! Gunk shot? Oh my, no! I was not expecting that. Oh, we just lost one of our best Pokemon for no reason. Diamond Storm should get the kill here. Yeah, that's right, you're weak to it now. And just like that, this 10-year-old has managed to save the world by killing off an entire civilization. But just as we were starting to celebrate, a mysterious creature with the power to make us bald suddenly appeared. Giratina uses the power of the crystal to revert into its primal form. This might not look like all that tough or cool of a Pokemon, but its strength lies hidden. With a base stat total of 820, it has the ability Omnitype, basically making it have every single type defensively. This means that it has 8 immunities, 4 resistances, and is only weak to rock types. Having saved the entire region, there was only one task left to conquer: the Pokemon League. The Elite Four members were tough, each having their own unique playing style. 2 of them abused weathers like Sandstorm and Hail, while the other 2 used strategies like Trick Room and Baton Pass. In the end, I didn't lose a single Pokemon, even though there were some really close calls. I didn't like that. But this all led to one final plot twist. Who exactly is the champion? Surprised to see me? Why would I, Rukra, be the champion? I've spent my life seeking perfection. A perfect, undefeatable Pokemon. It's kind of a stupid thought. After all, a combination like Destiny Bond and Shadow Tag can take anything out easily. But a strategy that takes out a perfect Pokemon can't take out an entire team. But a team of powerful Pokemon, perfectly synchronized, each covering each other's weaknesses and increasing their strengths. A team like that could have no weaknesses. It could be perfect. And now, with that team, I am perfect. So bring it on, Silver. You want to be the champion of the Toren region? Get ready to lose. Man, you look stoned. Champion Rukra would like to battle. Okay, Armor Tyranitar. Oh, he's going for the Dragon Dance himself. Okay, +2 Mach Punch should kill, cause I also have Technician, so let's go, first down. Bro, why is this looking dicey already? Cure him, okay, Mach Punch again. Let's go! 2 down. Mewtwo? Wait, that's the Mewtwo from the Pokken tournament. He missed! Let's go! Well, I salute you, Sticko. You were completely useless this whole tournament. Okay, Vanguard. Metal Burst. Oh, it didn't kill? I don't know if he heals up. Oh, I just took unnecessary damage right there. It's okay, we got the kill. I think I just gotta go down. Yeah, that's just sad. Okay, hopefully a Mach Punch. Okay, Mach Punch sweeps here. Got it. Oh, he has a Delta Wall Corona too? Oh, it didn't kill, but we still got pretty good damage right there, so... Was that his last Pokemon? Yes, we beat Champion Rukra! With that victory, we crown ourselves champions of the region, having completed the main story of Pokemon Insurgence. Haha, just kidding! The post-game is actually twice as long as the main part. We still have so many mysteries to solve. Will we ever be able to save Damien? Or find out the true fate of Audrey? Will Tain ever be able to replace Name here to summon the original dragon? If you guys want to see an entire video based on the post-game of Pokemon Insurgence, well, I'm gonna have to demand 10,000 likes on this video cause hot damn.